I'm Cindy Abbott Letro for Behind the Camera, and I'm standing in the beautiful atrium at Rich Products, where an announcement is about to be made, a historic announcement that will give a real boost to filmmaking in Buffalo.
I'm Bill Giesel, and on behalf of Bob and Mindy Rich and the Rich family and our thousands of Western New York associates with Rich Products, some who are joining us from the balcony here, I'd like to welcome you to our atrium. We're thrilled to be part of an event, thrilled to be part of a project that is bringing some very positive news to Niagara Street, the West Side, City of Buffalo. And with that, it gives me great pleasure to introduce a man who has been a wonderful friend to Rich Products and a wonderful friend to the West Side of Buffalo since he entered office many years ago, our esteemed and honorable mayor of the City of Buffalo, Byron Brown. Mayor?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bill. It is always good to be here at Rich Products, and I'm certainly very pleased to join Robert Halmi and Fehmi Zeko of Great Point Capital Management and Bill Giesel of Rich Products to announce the development of a new film and television production studio that will be built right here on Buffalo's West Side. Making this announcement on the same day that Western New York enters Phase 4 of reopening is a great way to remind everyone that media and film productions can now resume in this region. This significant investment being made by Great Point Capital Management is another sign that while the COVID-19 health pandemic has been challenging, people's faith in Buffalo's resurgence has not been shaken, and they continue to place their bets on Buffalo. Robert, Fehmi, thank you for your confidence in our community. Let's give them another great big round of applause. Certainly also want to again recognize Bill Giesel, John Dandies, Larry Quinn for their work on this great project. The kind of faith that we are seeing being placed in Buffalo today is the kind of faith and devotion to helping Buffalo grow that is not new to Bob and Mindy Rich, who consistently but quietly have contributed millions through Rich Products and the Rich Family Foundation to support the city, as well as initiatives like Weedy, the Massachusetts Avenue Project, Broderick Park, and many others. Over the years, they have been our champions, our cheerleaders, and the caretakers of a legacy of service to this community. And Mindy's personal and tireless advocacy for this project has been especially critical, and it has been essential in seeing this project through. Her recognition of both the potential and strategic importance of the film industry to Buffalo's bright future is one of the main reasons that we are all here in this place right now. Let's give Mindy and Bob Rich, in their absence, a great big round of applause. Buffalo's reputation as a place to make movies and films is growing nationally, and in the last several years, we have attracted the attention of Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro and major film industry names like Reginald Hudlin, Bill Fichtner, and John Krasinski, but also smaller and independent productions like those done by Fred and Chris Olin Ray, who see Buffalo's historic architecture, unique cityscapes, dedicated workforce, and welcoming environment as a place where unique and engaging stories can be told. The opening of this new production site by Rich Industries and Great Point Capital Management will only add to our city's ability to attract filmmakers and film and TV production to our city while bolstering this critical component of our regional economy at a time when there is high demand for new content across a variety of media platforms. Over the last 10 years, the film industry has generated hundreds of jobs and brought millions of dollars of investment into the Buffalo-Niagara region. Governor Cuomo's commitment to growing this industry's presence in New York State has benefited Buffalo greatly, and I thank him for his support of this growing economic engine for the Buffalo-Niagara region. I also want to recognize the exceptional work of the Buffalo-Niagara Film Commission. Our Film Commission is one of the most effective and hardest working in the nation. Cindy Abbott Letro, Tim Clark, Rich Wall, thank you for your work to build this industry in the Buffalo-Niagara region. I also, along with Governor Cuomo, I want to thank partners in government who are here. Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes, State Senator Tim Kennedy have been champions of the film tax credit and filmmaking here in the Buffalo-Niagara region. And I want to say a special thank you to them for supporting this industry so passionately. Let's give them a round of applause. And my partner in government, who I work so closely with on so many issues, is also my partner in film, and that is Erie County Executive Mark Polenkars. County Executive Polenkars and I are the major funders, along with Niagara County, of the Buffalo-Niagara Film Commission. And County Executive Polenkars, I thank you for your dedication to building this industry in our community. And then finally, I want to just recognize the members of the City Council, the county legislature, representing our legislative government is Majority Leader David Rivera. David, I want to thank you and the council and the legislature for your support of film. I also want to thank the unions. I want to thank IATSE and all of the unions that have invested in training crew here in the city of Buffalo. And so, Robert and Fehmi, you know that we have well-trained people here in Buffalo that can work in this industry and can help multiple productions go on all at the same time. As the city of Buffalo now enters phase 4 of reopening, it is hard to imagine the challenges that we have already overcome and the ones that we have yet to face. But with investments like this in the neighborhoods of our city, I am confident that Buffalo will come back as a stronger, more resilient, more confident, and more diverse city where all of our residents will benefit. We cannot fail with supporters like Bob and Mindy Rich, Bill Giesel, and Robert and Fehmi, who are demonstrating their confidence in this community and the confidence that we should all have when we come together to build our city. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce one of the partners of Great Point Capital who sees tremendous potential in the city of Buffalo, Robert Halmi.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody. We're very excited to get to this point and to be here talking about the construction of our new film complex here in Buffalo. Earlier, a few people have asked, how did we get to choose Buffalo and why are we in Buffalo? We have a mandate at Great Point to build just 3 large film and television film centers. in the U.S. And so we're not building them everywhere. So there's a lot of work that goes into the selection of a site. And we really have three criteria. The first being, is it a place where filmmakers like to make movies? And after doing a lot of diligence, we found out that Buffalo is an incredible place to make movies, thanks to the great work of the mayor for opening everybody's arms up to films coming in, and the Film Commission has done a great job of promoting Buffalo, but the people of Buffalo have opened their arms to film companies. They've made everybody feel great working here. We've talked to producers, we've talked to all those great talented filmmakers you were mentioning, and people have a great time making films here. They feel welcome. They feel that people go out of their way to make it easy to make films. There's local crew here that are very talented. It's just incredible abundance of locations to choose from. And so it really checked the first box pretty easily. The second criteria for us is to find local partners that we can work with to make our vision a reality. And we couldn't find better local partners anywhere in the country than right here in Buffalo. The Riches have been amazing. Bill Giesel, Bob and Mindy Rich have just, they're like dealing with family. They're just so wonderful to deal with, and they treat us so well, and we're so lucky that we're working with them. And to have Larry Quinn come on board and take this on as a challenge to build a studio is fantastic. He's the one who's really pulling it all together, and Peter Krogh building the studio for us. We're lucky to have him as well. And of course the mayor and his office is just, they have just removed any obstacles we've had from getting this studio to be a reality. So Buffalo was a great, really a great choice for us. The third criteria is just that we build a studio in a place that Fehmi and I can come eat good food and have a good time, because we like to enjoy what we do as well. And we're finding that Buffalo is a perfect place for us to hang out, have good food, see good art, talk about films, and hang out with a bunch of great people. So we're really excited about this project. We can't wait till next year comes along and we can start filling the studio with product. We've talked to lots of different large media players who are all excited about having the opportunity to shoot up in Buffalo year-round. The how we got here part, we're looking at a lot of places, but the how for Buffalo is all Bob and Mindy Rich. When they found out that we had started this fund with a mandate to build film studios, Bob and Mindy contacted us, and they said, you mind if we come to New York and meet with you guys? We just want to talk about film studios. And we didn't really know what the agenda was, but they came to meet with us over a year ago at the Lowell Hotel, and we sat in a little coffee shop, and they were passionate about getting us on an airplane to Buffalo to see what Buffalo could offer to a company that wants to build film studios. And Mindy was so passionate about it, we knew right then that we would be the next day on a plane to Buffalo and at least see what the excitement was about. And of course, when we got here, it only took a few days for us to realize that this was absolutely going to be one of our selections for a film and television complex. So that's how we got here. We're excited to be here, and thank you very much. I think I'd like to introduce Fehmi Zeko, the co-owner of Great Point, to say a couple of words. Thank you.
I don't have much to add to the great, I think the opening remarks from the mayor and Ravi, and Bill. But I must say it's so exciting to be in I live in New York City, and to be in Buffalo and with the great leadership and the open arms of the community, the long history of support from the community, and the great and traditional history of filmmaking. We couldn't be more excited.
You two have made a lot of people smile today. Tell us about how did you find Buffalo? When was the first time you got to Buffalo?
Well, we got to Buffalo at an invitation from Bob and Mindy Rich. They found out that we just raised a fund to build film and television infrastructure. And they made an approach to us and said, why don't you guys come up and check Buffalo out? And we did, and you know, they met us with open arms and made us feel very special. And as we spent 2 weeks here, we quickly realized that Buffalo was a really, really perfect location for film and television.
Tell me about that. What do you look for when you're, because this project is a major, major project. If it all comes to fruition, $50 million, major impact, you know, people put to work as many as 500 if it all comes true. Why Buffalo?
Well, again, to add on what Robbie said, there is a long history of filmmaking here and television series here, and you know, this is an important historical city in America. And in addition to the economic benefits of the New York film credits, it's an ideal, you know, it's an ideal both economically and structurally to make film, and frankly, the people here are just wonderful.
Well,
really great,
you know, that's one of those things that we've been hearing time and time again. And of course, I came to Buffalo right after The Natural was shot, and of course, the Rich family, his youngest son was in that film, and always thought this was a great place. But what is that sort of secret sauce that a city needs to have? And you said it's a great place, but is it? Do people go an extra mile to make it better?
They certainly do. We have seen that, and we're confident that, I mean, just our dealing with the mayor and his staff, and with the Riches and their team, Bill, and just in the development stages of, as we put this together over the last 6 months, 8 months, everybody's just been wonderful.
When do you think you'll put a shovel in the ground?
Well, we're hoping to start in September. We think we can be open next September. You know, the faster we can take advantage of all the money being spent in film production these days, the better for us. And we have interest right now from 5 or 6 different producers who want to come up and shoot in Buffalo.
What's the difference as far as the landscape of the film industry these days? I mentioned The Natural, you know, and that was the big movie star, have a fabulous movie, but it's a different landscape now in making films.
I don't know, Robbie. What do you think?
I mean, the landscape is different because now we have Netflix and Amazon and Hulu and all the streamers, and they're battling for position in the worldwide streaming market.
Yeah, I mean, there's just more huge demand.
And a different, you know, you never, in the old days, there wouldn't be $100 million film released straight to television. And now that's the norm. So very exciting stuff going on in our industry, and film production is the fastest growing segment of any industry right now in America, and this new film studio will capitalize on it.
How big is the first soundstage that you're building? How large are we talking about?
20,000 square feet, 40 feet high to the grid, clear span, state of the art, you know, best in class studio. It'll be equal to any studio in the Northeast in size and in quality, and it'll bring in any show that wants to be made can be shot in our new facility.
So sets will be self-contained, costumes will be made here. This is the real deal.
Real deal.
Oh yeah, real deal.
This is the real deal. Well, thank you both for taking time to talk to us. Thank you for coming to Buffalo, and we hope we have more good times in Buffalo. Thank you. I'm with Mayor Byron Brown, City of Buffalo, and some great news for the city today, Mayor. How did this come about, and have you been in on this from the beginning?
Have been in on it from the very beginning. Got a call from Mindy Rich. Mindy and Bob Rich had reached out to Great Point Investments about bringing a film studio to Buffalo, to the west side of Buffalo. Great Point came in with both partners, looked at the city, met with the Buffalo Niagara Film Commission, met with me and others, and decided this was a perfect place to build a film and television studio that would provide content nationally and globally.
So the land that this studio is going to be built on, was this owned by Rich Products?
Yes, the land that the studio will be built on is owned by Rich Products, and Bob and Mindy Rich. They're certainly instrumental in this project coming to our community, but it builds on the work of the Buffalo Niagara Film Commission and work that we've done collectively with County Executive Polling Cars and our friends in Niagara County and the city of Buffalo to really make the Buffalo Niagara region one of the most film-friendly places in the nation. And my goal has been that we would be able to be one of the best places outside of New York City to attract filmmaking. And with this announcement today of this $50+ million
Wow.
film and television studio coming to Buffalo's West Side, I think we are well on our way.
Well, what's so exciting about it is that, there are those that have been naysayers along the way, when the state wanted to give tax credits for this. That is one of the pieces of the puzzle. The other is that they talk about the cooperation that they get from government when they come to Buffalo, just like with parking or, I guess, shutting down a highway in the case of the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, the state has been an absolutely phenomenal partner. Governor Cuomo's vision, his leadership, his support for filmmaking in the state, particularly in Buffalo and Western New York and the Buffalo Niagara region, has been extraordinary. And we go out of our way locally to be film friendly, to provide parking, to provide the landscapes, the beautiful community that can double for so many places across the world, and working with the state that allowed us to shut down a highway to film Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 right here in Buffalo.
I think that convinced a lot of people to come here. We talk about this. This is a private project, a privately funded project. So many times when you want to do a big project, people are looking for government involvement. But this is private, correct?
This is privately funded. Of course, I think the filmmakers should apply for any incentives they're eligible for, but they are coming in here, Great Point, Rich, they're coming in here with their own money to privately fund this project. There are several phases, so I am hoping that as more phases of this studio move forward, that if government funding is needed because more and more jobs are going to be created, then so be it. But right now, privately funded, 150 jobs being created that will be housed right here on the west side of Buffalo.
An exciting day. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your leadership.
Thank you very much, Cindy, and thank you for all you do for film in Buffalo and
you're welcome.
Western New York.
I'm with Tim Clark from the Buffalo Niagara Film Commission. Tim, a big announcement. Tell me a little bit about this new development here in the city of Buffalo.
Well, I think it's a real pinnacle of all what we've been working for. You saw the vision over 20 years ago, and this is the sort of facility that this community needs at the moment, and to kind of take us to that next step. And it's really a remarkable studio and a good thing for Buffalo, and especially the west side of Buffalo.
We've heard in this city many times about, really big projects. And this one, in the press release, it says it could be a $50 million project. And sometimes they don't turn out to be true. Is this the real deal?
No, this is the real deal. I think this pandemic that we've just kind of gone through shows the screaming need for content as people stayed home and watched these streaming services over and over again. And so Hollywood is coming back like a lion. It's just going to be roaring to go and raring to go. And this is a kind of facility that will be part of that resurgence of shooting, medium-sized and larger movies, for sure.
Well, talk about what has happened here, because you've been involved in this for a good number of years,
right.
But it almost seems like it was overnight. How did this happen? How did Buffalo become this place that they want to build a major studio here?
Well, as you know all too well, it really wasn't overnight, but it might seem that way to most people. It was a very slow and steady process. It really took decades, but you get to a point where you have a great tax incentive, you get to a point where you have a great crew base. You and I always knew that we had these unbelievable locations, but you sort of package all this together and it is the perfect recipe for movie making, and that's what I think most people saw. A lot of the Hollywood types that have come here never been to Buffalo before. Once they get here, they realize, this is a pretty decent town. All the things are here, but beyond that, it's such a friendly place. You got a very supportive government, leadership. You have really friendly people. The citizens of Buffalo are just so embracing of this kind of activity, so it all works in our favor.
So tell me what we can expect to see. What's going to happen? What is this project?
Well, I think today is the first day of just a very good ramping process. We have escalated this thing to a whole new level. I think you'll see newer sound stages, and the sound stages that we have now in town, I think you're going to see those filled to the brim. I think that there are many, many shows that have to be shot, and I think everybody's looking at Buffalo.
That's great. And of course, proximity to some major cities is helpful too.
Oh, it is. Yeah, geographically, Buffalo is situated in a perfect place. We're minutes from New York City, under 60 minutes by flight. We're a short drive from Toronto, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, all those things. And we have Niagara Falls right in our backyard, too. So, you take a look at all of those things and our proximity to so much. And it's very, very helpful, for sure.
This is Cindy Abbott Letro for Behind the Camera. We'll see you next time.